Dustin, hello. Hello, good morning, my fellow friends and followers on YouTube. Actually, today's topic is about the dominated religion in uh, in Nigeria. You know, in Nigeria, they normally says that the Hausas are the Hausas has the most population in Nigeria, and I keep on arguing all those things. I don't believe on that because nobody have really done a proper investigation about Nigeria and the country himself has not uh, has not been able to conduct a free and fair census, to know exactly their population. You know, all Nigeria is doing is politics, propaganda. Um, it's like somebody cheating on itself. You understand me? Um, Nigeria doesn't have records or database where they save or keep record of the um, children being delivered in hospital. Their birth record is not correct. Um, I'm saying this because Nigeria doesn't want to help itself in, in times of being like other developed nations, that keep records of their citizens. You understand? It is a very sad thing because we are going global, and the global that Nigeria can adopt today is lesbianism and homosexualism. That is the only thing I can only predict or tell you that that is what Nigeria can do for today. But to give a real account of their citizens, nobody cares, nobody wants to do such things. It's a very bad thing. Other little countries around Nigeria are more advanced in such things, Other petty countries, French countries, other around Nigeria, they can be able to predict their population, and they can easily tell you the age of every of their citizen. You cannot be able to manipulate things. But in Nigeria, reverse is the case. You understand? Because uh, when a nation wants to be a great nation, they have to follow the full steps of everything that a matured and big nation does. Nigeria doesn't have a database to save the birth rate, and in short, they can never give you account if Nigerian population is decreasing or the population is increasing. You know, if you come to, I won't call any Western nation because Western nations are more advanced, more capable than we in Africa. Let me use some countries like Cameroon, countries like Gabon. These countries are well established. They can be able to manage things that are running in their nation, and their government can easily predict how many population they have. They can tell you how many visitors they have. They can still tell you the amount of countries living in their nation because they keep record of everything. But in Nigeria, every border is open. There is no national identity card. There are no ways to identify Nigerians. You know, systematically, Nigeria made itself a united black African country that doesn't care and doesn't want to know who is his citizen, who is a visitor, and who is a tractor. You know, that's why um, many Fulanese from all over Africa can easily operate in Nigeria as Nigerians without any questioning, and they can initiate their evil thinking in Nigeria without Nigeria differentiating the Fulanis of Nigeria and the Fulanis from other parts of Africa. You know, because they speak the same language, they take care of cows, you know, they move places to places, they sleep in forests, they don't care, their life is just like somebody who, a wayward life, you know. And when Nigeria want to count census, Hausa will open their doors for these guys to enter. You should ask yourself, for what? Why should they do that? It's because of political interest, you know. They want to keep hold to power, to tell you that they have the largest population in Nigeria and their voting power is more higher, you know, than other tribe. But we Nigerians knows that when you travel to northern Nigeria, uh, there is there are enough land to be developed. You know, people are living hectare scatter. It's only in the big cities that you can tell me that it's well populated, and those big cities that is populated is also foreigners that accommodate those places. The citizens of the state are little, you know. When you come to the south side of Nigeria, it's congested. There is no space where you can build anything. Before government will try to make any development, they got to step on people's toes, you know. They got to step on their citizens' toes to be able to do things, you know. If federal government want to build road in northern Nigeria, it may not affect anybody's house, you know, or property to show you that it's empty, you know, nobody is there. And northern Nigeria are not good in traveling, that you may say that they are living outside Nigeria, you know. They don't travel, they stay in that. If they want to move, they can only move within Nigeria too. They don't go out. But when you come to the southern Nigeria, if you see 50% of people in southern Nigeria, 350% are living outside of the nation because it's not conducive for them. They like to study, they like to move around, to learn from those that are more educated than them. Especially the tribe of Igbos travel any even sorry please. If when you there is a proverb they normally use in Nigeria that says any country that you travel to, any place you find yourself, if you did not find an Igbo man in that area, you should run away. You should run away. That's to show you that they knows that we are travelers. If the Easterners that are living abroad, all of them came back, there will be problem. There will be suffocation because the population will be excess. You know, in some of the families, there are some families you went to, like my own family. Let me give an example. I will give you the amount of how many brothers and sisters that I have. But let's say 95% of us are living outside Nigeria. Just imagine. And most of my brothers have up to 6 to 7 children living outside Nigeria. Um, why am I saying all this? Because I have been reading books and checking the population and religion about Nigeria. I keep on seeing that they keep on telling me, try to sell to the world that Nigeria is systematically a Muslim nation in a sense that the Muslims are the more popular and more dominance in the nation. Is a very big lie. It's not true. Nigerians are big, especially Nigerian politicians are liars, and I can only blame the government because the government does not even keep records of his things. I read something that said that one American, whatever, research something, have researched in Nigeria and find out that um, Muslim in the next 2030, Muslim will dominate the whole Nigeria. How do you know that? It's a very big lie. This is something being propagated to push the Northerners up. It's not true, you know. I and my own team did a thorough research. You know one thing, in every part of Nigeria, there are those who believe in Christ, who are Christians. There are those who are Muslims, who believe in Islam. And there are those who are we normally mention as unbelievers. Those guys practice the traditional way of religion. You know, and when they are counting these things, they count those guys and join everything. If you want to do free and fair religious dominance investigation in any nation, you have to pinpoint and open those things for you to be able to be 100% sure, because you shouldn't disappoint yourself. You shouldn't lie to yourself. You have to be open. You have to um, tell yourself the simple truth about things going around you. You understand me? Um, but in Africa, in Nigeria, the way things are being done, the way things are being run is very, very different. You understand? And the earlier that our people start telling themselves the truth on how things are being handled, should be more better, you know. You have to differentiate good, bad, and worse. You won't say that somebody who maybe, how will I put it, who is an unbeliever, you dictate for him, try to dictate the type of religion he belongs to. Upon that, he doesn't belong or he doesn't believe in what you're believing in. He only have faith in what he himself believes. And there is also another thing. When you are talking about in other Nigeria, um, some people and I before normally narrate northern Nigeria as 100% Muslims, indirectly handing over the other believers systematically to the Muslims. Now I have that we have done this research. I want to use this opportunity to say sorry, to northern Nigerians that are not Muslims, because if it's me, I will also find it insultive when somebody tries to dictate my own religion upon that I believe in a different thing. I said sorry, it's ignorant. Today we have learned, So I would like to also made it clear to our people that um, I just want to read it out. The result of our investigation in Nigeria in terms of the most dominated religion and the religion that will conquer or overshadow the other religion before 2030, 2050. So let me start with Sokoto State. We normally say that they are core Muslim, everything is Muslim. It's a lie. 60% of Sokoto states are Muslims. 10% of them believe in nature, or let me call it in traditional something, while 30% of Sokoto state are Christians. Do you believe that? But they will try to sell to you that all the Sokoto state are Muslims, undermining the belief of this 10%. 10% is very huge. You understand? And undermining the 30% of the Christians is also large to cover almost 40% of those that doesn't believe in what you believe on. Categorize everybody that they believe in what you believe. It's not done that way. We are living in a civilized world, and I believe that every voice count, every person count, everybody count in whatever you present on. 10% is representing the traditional way of belief in the Sokoto state, and 30% represent the Christianity that we know very well, while 60% represent the Islam in Sokoto state. So let's go to Zamfara. Zamfara state has 65% of Muslims, 5% of traditional believers, and also 30% Christians. I mean the indigenes, not those maybe that came from eastern region of other part of the country that settled in that place, are not counted. We are talking of the indigenes, the owners of this state, the Zamfaras themselves and the state owners themselves. So we go to KB state. What we find in KB has 45% of Muslims. Nobody will believe it, but it's true. In Kebbi State, we found 45% of Muslim, 5% of traditional believers, and 50% Christian. Wow. Nobody believes such a thing, but they would turn the whole story that 50% or 60% are Muslim. No. Go back and do your research again. I'm a Nigerian. I went to every corner. Our team went to every corner to investigate. Even the indigenes themselves are the ones doing the research, not people from outside, the indigenes. So people from outside can influence the number, but the indigenes cannot inflates the number because that is what is going on. You know, when you go to Katsina State, Katsina has 58% Muslims in Katsina. 2% believe in traditional way of religion, while 40% in Katsina State are Christians. Who says that these guys are 100% Muslim? Why are we keep on using such a dirty word, giving those guys a very dirty slap on their face, like they don't have right to choose their own religion? You will choose it for them. Things are not done that way, my people. You know, these guys are all our citizens, and I believe we should handle with care. You know, respect their beliefs. And when you go to Kano, Kano of every Muslim, that everybody says Kano State is 100% Muslim, 100% lie. You know, the Kano indigenes did the investigation and brought an answer: 60% of Kano are Muslim, 2% believe in tradition, 48% of Kano people are Christians. Why lying? Why manipulating the number of religions in your state? It's a very sad thing. Jigawa State, Jigawa has also 65 of Muslim, 5% of unbelievers or traditional believers, and 40% Christians in Jigawa State. You know, so tell me how Muslim will conquer the whole religion in Nigeria by 2030. Why should we be influencing, lying, and manipulating things, changing history gradually, using soft power to rewrite history? It's a very wrong thing. There are learned people in Nigeria. You know, even the state that you want to impose this religion on them, the Christians there or that the traditional believer doesn't want it. That's why they did their research to find out how many percent, whatever. In Yobe State, there is 45% Muslims, 5% traditional believers, and 50% Christians. Oh, I can't even believe it. I called again. I called back again. I said, maybe you misplaced the number. He says, no, sir. That is the number. That's what we found out. So tell me, how come that the Muslims are dominating Nigeria? When you come to Boronu, Boronu has 45% Muslims. So-called whatever. You know, I'm liberal. I'm open. You know, I have nothing to gain from these things. I have to tell you the simple truth. The research that the indigenes are doing on their own. The indigenes of Boronu deliver to us 45% of them are Muslim, 5% are um, believing also in this thing, and 50% are Christians. In Bauchi, the same thing like Boronu, 45 also 50% Christians. You know, in Gombe, 55% are Muslims, 5% are believe in traditional way of life, while 40% are Christians. In Adamawa, there is 55% also Muslims, 5% traditional believers, and what is this? Okay, 40% are Christians. Okay, 40% are Christians. And in Taraba State, 45% are Muslims, while 5% are also unbelievers, 50% are Christians. I can't even believe it. I can't even believe it. In Plateau, 45 also, 5% are unbelievers, our traditional way of life, while 50% is Christians. I can't even believe it. You know, in Nasarawa, the same thing repeat himself. 45, 5, 50. Muslim 45, traditional way of life 5%, and 50% Christians. How come that people are talking that Muslim is dominating everything in Nigeria? It's not true. In Niger, Niger has 75% Muslim, 5% traditional way of life, and 20% 30% Christians. No, 20%. Sorry, I made a mistake. 20% Christians. Hmm. In Abuja, 45% are Muslims, 5% doesn't believe in herbalism, while 50% is Christians. Uh, in Kaduna has 70% Muslim. They didn't give us anything about maybe they pack everybody to Muslim. We didn't receive anything about unbelievers or the people that practice tribalism or that tribal herbalists or all those things that doesn't believe in Christianity or Muslim. We didn't get any answer, but we have only 30% Christians. That the indigenous maybe they pack everything because I don't believe that 70% out of 100 that all of them believe in. So Kwara have 45% Muslims, 5% unbelievers, and 50% Christian. Uyo has 40% Muslim, 10% unbelievers. See, it's changing. 10% people that practice African way of life, and 50% Christians. In Kogi State, you find 35% Muslim, 5% or herbalism or the local believers, and 60% are Muslim. Are Christians, sorry. 35% Muslim, 5% unbelievers, and 60% Christianity. Benue, 25% Muslim. I can't believe it though. 25% Muslim, 5% are also uh, those that didn't believe in anything, and 70% Christians. Okay. Oshun has 35% Muslim, 5% unbelievers, and 60% Christians. Ekiti, the same thing. 35, 5, 60. Good. These guys did not move from one state to another so that you will not. Every state, their people coordinate and investigate their own so that tomorrow you don't point out because this man come from this place. That's why he did this. It's their people that are coordinating and doing the investigation because this rumor and lie and brainwashing of a thing is too much. It's time we should take things in our own hand to know, to stop reading the history of those that have not even visited our nation, sitting in their table, that doesn't even know any state or local government in Nigeria that will tell you which religion dominates which state. Too bad, you know. So Ondo has 35 Muslim, 5 unbelievers, and 60% Christians. Edo has 30% of Muslim, 5% of unbelievers, and 65% of Christians. Oh, Enugu State has only 1% Muslim, 10% unbelievers, 89% of Christians. Ebonyi State has 0%. I asked why 0% Muslim. You know, they say that those that believe in Islam or whatever are not even up to 1%. And most of them are not even the citizens of Ebonyi State. That they have only 10% herbalist and whatever, and then 90% Christianity. So Ogun has 30% Muslim, 5% unbelievers, and 65% Christians. Can you believe that? Even me, if you ask me, self, I will tell you that 30% should be those practicing African way of tradition. But they are more or less as I thought. So Lagos State has 30% Muslim. But I lived in Lagos before. I thought that almost 50 to 60% are Muslim. That is what I think. But 10% are following a traditional way of religion, while 60% of Lagosians are Christians. Hmm. Hmm. Anambra State has 0 Muslim, 10% unbelievers or traditional way of life, and 90% Christians. Imo State has less than 1%. So we do it minus, minus 0%. 10% are practicing herbalism, 90% are Christians. Cross River State also the same thing, 0% Muslim, 10% in traditional way of life, 90% are Christians. Delta State also lesser, Delta has lesser Muslim, they're not up to 1%, and 10% in traditional way of life, 90% Christians. So Bayelsa State also the same thing, 0% Muslim, 10% this, and 90% Christians. River State also the same thing, 0% Muslim, 10% unbelievers, 90% Christians. Akwa Ibom also 0% Muslim, 10% African way of life, that's African tradition, and 90% Christians. So we calculated all the whole percent. Hausa come at 2,000, or Muslim, those that believe in Muslim are 2,528. All the numbers, and Christian come at 2,210. And these unbelievers, there is also a research that was done on their behalf to know if they come, that they decide to drop what they are doing, what would they like to worship after their African religion that they have practicing. That's our old African religion. 151 out of 588 that are unbelievers said that they will be Muslims, while 437 said that they will become Christians. So, in all said and done, Christians, those in Muslim side are 2,679, while in the Christian side we get 2,647. So Muslim is stopping with 32 only. So tell me, how can you multiply this 32 to dominate the whole Nigeria in the next 2030? It's impossible. It is impossible, my people, my friends. So brainwashing, liars, and those that are trying to tell us how. That is why, because I was asking myself, why must our new leader, President Muhammadu Buhari, sorry please, are pushing very hard to spread the religion? Because when we are dominated, when you know by 2030 your religion got to conquer the whole Nigeria, I doesn't think that there will be need for you to be killing people, punishing families that converted from Muslim to Christians in this rate that they have been killed in Nigeria. It's like they are trying to fight their way in, and I believe that for them to succeed in their dream and what they are planning to do in Nigeria, Usman Danfodio got to wake up again and come back to help them to fight the Nigerian Christians, and the unbelievers. One thing is this, Nigeria, let me tell you something now. I'm no longer a fan of Nigeria, because before I was proud to be a Nigerian. I was against the division or anything that will divide the nation. But as things are running, I think the country doesn't, hatred, division, have been poured into the bones of tribes in Nigeria, I don't know why it was like that. Maybe it was orchestrated by somebody, or they have been working towards it for a very long time to see that they I don't know what they are trying to achieve, because how can a nation that call itself one nation, are so divided, not only south northeast issue, even in the northern Nigeria, they are so divided and full of hatred of each other. No tribe in Nigeria that love his neighbor. It's a very sad thing. If a small problem burst out in between the Muslims within themselves, or that the Northerners within themselves, now they have divided themselves to Shia and whatever they call Shia, and I don't know what they call themselves there. Now they are fighting each other. Somebody will still tell them, do you know that you are not this, you are that? And do you know that this person doesn't have right to dictate for you? You are the one that's supposed to be dictating for him. Do you know? Look, in this world, if it's if we cannot imitate the Western way of life, having respect for human value, I watch videos where somebody will take machete. A human being like you will not have feelings. You will not feel for him. You will use machete, chopped somebody till he stop breathing, till he give up ghost. And you see what 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 runs in your brain. Are you animal? Because I believe that it's only um, 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 this bull that is not human being. Even if you do as if you are dead, the bull will leave you. But how can somebody who called himself human being, even though the person killed your mother and your father, must you rub your own hand in blood without shivering in wounding, in seeing blood of your fellow citizen? I watch videos in Facebook where people use knife on their fellow citizens, your fellow brothers, your fellow neighbor, your friends, your black brother. They will use machete. They will chop that person until he give up. Somebody, you are using weapon, he has nothing to defend himself. If he raise hand, you cut the hand. If you turn the leg, you cut it. If he raise his head, you butchered him too. Oh my God. That nation is no longer conducive. That nation has been taken over by hatred. That country called Nigeria is no more qualified to be a united front. How can you be a leader of a hatred? A leader that led his nation with sadness, with wickedness, with hate. How can somebody become a president to revenge on what they did to you? They did it, but they did not succeed. They did it, but they couldn't stop you. It left for you to come back, show them the good side of you, even though you are bad. It's good when election is being called. Country is being systematically divided. But when the election ends, they should work and bring all the parties together again to love each other. And life continues. But in Nigeria, those that was divided during the time of Obasanjo are still carrying hatred in mind until the new one came in, Yaradua. Until that one gone, the hatred is also planted. After everything, they abandoned their people. They did not turn back to unite them back. Tell them, hey, my friends, my brothers and sisters, this is competition. This is politics. It's all about politics. We play it. Who has the higher card win. That doesn't mean that we are not one. That doesn't mean that what you believe on must come to pass. That doesn't mean that the person you support must win. Yeah, you supported him. You have to play your card, do all your mathematics to see that your supporter secure the seat. After that, yeah, jubilate. Oh, I made it. Not when you lose, it's no more yeah, it's cocking gun. Why should you play more than me? Why should you have the upper card? Why should your own supporter win? It's a game. Nigeria politicians are not letting the people know that what they are doing is all about game. Corrupt gamers. Because it's only corrupt gamers that doesn't care about those that put them in set. That's why they will promise you Nigerians that when they enter into power, they will draw the heaven down for you. After they have used you, achieved what they want, what do? They drop you and face their own business, go their way. After they have given you that small bag of rice, tomato, 2,000 naira, 5,000, 10,000, 15 highest. After that, you are now a toilet roll that somebody will use to clean his anus when he need it and do what? Throw it away. That is not our value as a human. We are like something that is recycled product. We keep on coming, we keep on moving. We vote this person in, he comes in, he goes out. We are still useful to them. But are they useful to us? Have you asked yourself? I have been voting, campaigning, fighting my brothers and sisters, father and everything. At the end of the day, do I have job? Does it mean that the federal government doesn't know the means or that the way or that the will to create job in Nigeria? You feel me, my people? You know? Why don't they want? Because Nigeria doesn't face a strong opposition that you will say, like the United States, you need to get the vote from the left and join it to the right to make things to work. In Nigeria, it's the head of state that decides what happens. And I believe during the time of campaign, the head of state traveled all over the nation that he wanted to rule. That thing called campaign is the time to pick the leader and take him around the nation for him to see for himself that things are not working well for these guys. And Nigeria is not even adopting a system of 10 that the past regime have set things like Obama setting things for Trump. Trump comes in, maybe make 2-3 changes out of 100. And that 2-3 changes doesn't mean that it's abolished. It's been updated to suit his own system of government. Russia and America are having issues in Syria and elsewhere, in Europe, borders and whatever. But Trump says, I will make Putin my best partner. He's not throwing away the ideology of Europeans in terms of border issue. He's not throwing away the Syrian issue, but he wants to update it in a more advanced way that it may be conducive for both Russia, Europe, and United States. There may be a president that will come tomorrow. He says, I doesn't want to partner with Europeans. I'd rather be in a safe haven with Russians and to hell with Europe. Another one, they keep on moving in that way, but you see that things keep on moving. Nigeria revises the case. I have been talking try to contact politicians to tell them, I have been in Nigeria. And Nigeria is worse than the time I left Nigeria. You understand me? Those beings covered expressway this time around in Nigeria. Every corner is smelling. Hygiene inside Nigeria is worst case scenario. Eating in open place in Nigeria is you want to kill yourself as a foreigner or as a Nigerian that is not living in that nation. When you go back to Nigeria, try to eat freely the way you eat in where you are living, you will die the next day. The people doesn't know how to shake hand, wash your hand before you start eating. The people doesn't know how to clean up what they are doing, or you will see in Lagos those days, you will see that a Yoruba woman will be selling mama put along the road. And the son or the daughter or stepson or child will go toilet in a pool near where they are selling food. And one thing Africans doesn't understand is that when somebody is messing around, breeze are being flowed. Things, particles of those things flies around that area and may land into somebody's food. And there may be a very dangerous bacteria on that person's stomach that can affect the whole community and kill almost 30% of that community. Nigeria doesn't know that, you know. And there is no good medication that when such a thing breaks out, so that they can even control it in some minutes or hours or days. It will keep on until it will die off on its own. So what am I saying? So all these things that I'm projecting and I'm telling you is that there are ways to create job in Nigeria. Only that your politicians in Nigeria are so dirty, corrupt, that they are making millions out of your poverty. They are making millions out of your miserable life, you know. And as far as you are poor and miserable, you can never stand up to oppose them. They have destroyed the education hub and power of Nigeria that will educate you and enlighten you, that will show you you are right to stand up against what they are doing. All those things have been tarnished. You know, somebody shooting himself on the foot, thinking there will be no Nigeria tomorrow. But truly, there will be no Nigeria tomorrow, because this path and this way they are going can only help the nation to disintegrate. You understand me? The Biafrans are rising up, you know, in Nigeria. And that ideology, you cannot counter it with bullet. You cannot counter it with military or force or police. It's an ideology, an organized ideology. Being organized, and it's like when somebody is trying to turn his hobby to profession, you know, you have marginalized these guys. You have kicked on their ass, you know, thinking they will not do anything. But now you have wakened the sleeping dog from his sleep. And the present government doesn't know how to stop it or how to go about it or how to control it. You know, he keep on making mistakes in trying to control Biafra, you know, or in trying to handle the Biafran issue. You know, I don't know who is his advisor in terms of Eastern region activity or um, 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 movement. You know, for me, if I am in his shoe, I will change that advisor and look for a good advisor, because whenever he takes steps to counter the ideology of the Biafrans, he make mistake and promote them more, you know. And the highest case scenario that he have done is this: he did not go after the voice that is controlling the Biafran ideology. He went for one person. He went for a human being. Holding that person has make matter worse, because if Buhari can sit down now, check all the whole Jonathan tenure. Radio Biafra have been existing before Buhari came to power. But by that time, I'm even making videos of Nigerian unit. You know, I wasn't even fully embracing the preaches of Nnamdi Kanu. You know, because there is something I have to tell you. There are those who does wake up when you start stepping on people's toes, when you start killing those that doesn't have any weapon, when you start imprisoning those that has nothing, you know, then there are people that will come out and say, let me look into this thing and see, why must you step on them so hard? Because I doesn't even value what they are saying. Why must it be so precious to you? Then I now put head, and I can't come back again. I started step 1, step 2, step 3. Now I'm here now talking to you. You know, the thing that Buhari is doing in Nigeria, in the eastern region, is against the law of humanity. Everybody in Nigerian constitution has the right to demonstrate, has the right to say their mind. And there is no place in Nigerian constitution that says you should not raise the flag of Biafra. There is no place in constitution in Nigerian constitution that says you should not talk about Biafra. And there is no place in Nigerian constitution that says Biafrans has no right to gather. Why are you arresting them? Which crime did they commit? Why should the military open fire on open demonstration that people are doing? They don't even have a gun or a knife, even firewood or even stone. They have nothing. They only have their flag and shouting and singing along the street. They are not even, in short, Biafra issue is not even a national, it's not even a national security issue. They are not even threat to the national government of Nigeria. They are not even threatening you. They only try to call you to a negotiating table, you know. So